what it is. It's Biscuit, the biggest blogger in the world. Man, this is a blessed day, man. I'm a builder, I really got it out the mud, and I really do what I do brick by brick. And it's really dope to have my guy Charles Noonan in the building. His podcast is called Brick by Brick. He's a super builder. He's gonna give us a lot of information, but most importantly, he's gonna teach us how to start from the ground up and build the mansion that we would love to have one day. Charles, how you feeling, bro?
I'm good,
Charles
bro.
Noonan in the building.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You setting a lot of traffic to come to Long Island, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's worth it because we got to get this message out, right?
Absolutely.
So of course, when you're sitting in the traffic, right, and you're gonna relate to this, you've thought about turning around several times, right or wrong?
Sometimes I did turn around.
Oh, sometimes you do,
yeah.
right? So the traffic is crazy, but
where were you coming from for the people that's tuned in?
I went to the real estate expo in Manhattan. Then I picked Melanie Sanders.
Oh, we can't forget about Melanie Sanders in the building. Make some noise for Mel.
Let's go,
How you feeling, Mel?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me. Glad to be with you, gents.
Yeah.
So I'm born and raised in New York, all right, in the Bronx.
BX in the building.
Melanie, where you from, Melanie?
I'm from Vicksburg, Mississippi. I live in Jackson currently, but I'm
In my crooked eye.
crooked letter.
Crooked.
Or they call it the SIP.
The Sip.
Okay.
Right on the river. Yes.
I never been.
Oh, you gotta go. We got casinos.
Oh man, say less. I love the casino.
You gotta come down for real.
All right, I'm in there.
Yeah. So yeah, man, I had to get out here.
So you was at the expo.
I was at the real estate expo.
Real estate expo. How do you get into the real estate expo? Like you have to buy a ticket. Like you have to know somebody that knows somebody.
If you in the industry, it's a common trade show.
Copy.
Yeah. So I want to tie in. I feel like what I do in my space as a builder, I fund my own builds, right? Because when you go to the bank, sometimes you gotta be subject to high interest rates. You gotta be subject to the closing fees that be $8, $9, $10, $14,000. So I fund my own stuff, but other people want to get in the game who can't self-fund. So I went to the expo to find some lenders that would be new developer happy. So new people or new people that want to, or new developer friendly, so to speak. So new people that want to get in the game. I wanted to find lenders for them.
Okay.
So because one of the ways, and I don't want to get too deep so early, but one of the ways they keep us out of developing, they say you got to have three new builds before we give you the money to build a new crib.
Okay.
Right? Automatically, what do we say? Damn, I ain't got 3 new builds. Let me go do something else. It just discourages us. So banks know now, right, that they have to start tweaking their underwriting guidelines to help builders. So there are some banks that will lend to new builders so they can get in the game.
That's amazing. So when did you become a builder? Like what sparked, because when you mentioned being discouraged, I'm looking to be a builder, right?
Okay.
And I know how I am. And if it's a new industry that I'm gonna embark on, unless I'm coming in through people's like yourself and people that I know that's in that industry, I could get discouraged off of something like that. So what made you, get over that hump with not being discouraged and actually, keep the pedal to the metal and like figure it out,
Struggling with fix and flips. Fix and flips is like our way out the hood. If you like buy into the real estate game, right? So when I was
I hear that all the time. People, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna fix it, I'm gonna flip it.
Yeah, but it'd be dead, right? A year later they got a bad experience, they broke even, they lost money, they beat the contractor up, the contractor robbed them.
And it's also very time consuming. It's not like
it's babysitting. So I got into it because I was just getting beat up myself, and I was going super hard, right? We from New York, we go hard.
We don't know the way.
And born and raised in New York, we got a different level of dog in us when we want to do something.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm trying to be the fix and flip guy of America. So I'm out in Detroit, and I'm just buying these land bank houses. They start at like $1,000, $2,000, right? At the web, I'm gonna give some information, right? buildingdetroit.org is the website where you can buy houses from the city they start at $1,000.
$1,000. What type of house is that?
They vacant. They bando.
Because in the city it's like
we don't got we don't got no stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they bando. So real quick.
And for the people that don't know what a bando is.
And the technical abbreviation
Trapping
is
out the bando.
Abandoned house,
Gotcha,
right?
Yep.
And in another world, a bando is like the trap house, right?
Trapping out the bando.
Yeah. So Detroit had a program. Detroit Land Bank is an agency that buys vacant properties from the city, and they make you fix them up so that you can own them outright. But they sell them for those low prices because they understand that vacant houses in neighborhoods will lower the property value, and they always happen to increase the crime rate. So to solve that, land banks come in and they'll be like, "Hey, we need to solve this issue, and it'll help us out a lot as a city."
Yeah, they figured it out.
They wasn't ready though. So I'm there just going hard. I'm buying them up. I'm trying to renovate. The contractors is ripping me off. I'm trying to renovate. Like I'm having issues with getting loans because they're not worth anything yet, right? So I'm going through the struggle. I'm figuring out how to make money though, right? Like we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
So I might have bought them for $5, and just to be profitable, I might have sold some for $20. The goal though was always to renovate them and rent them out. But through the struggle, I found one good contractor. And I was like, yo, I'm on like my 12th house at this point.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, I need you to do this house.
And what time frame are we looking at, like, to get those 12?
Oh,
from
probably
like
2 years. 2 years. I ended up buying a block of properties in Detroit on a street on the east side called Wayburn Street.
Okay.
So that was 7, and then I bought some smaller ones along the way, right? And the dude, I finally met one good contractor, and he's like, bro, I'm gonna just tell you, like, we need to knock this down and build it over. And I couldn't understand what he was saying. And he would always tell me about what the other ethnicities do in the city, right? And I'm like, yo, why does he keep telling me this? But I'm like, it's gonna cost money to knock the house down, take the stuff away, and put it back. But he's like, you thinking wrong. He was like, yes, but it's gonna take maybe 4 to 6 months to renovate it. He was like, I could build you a house in like
from scratch
90 days. So I'm like, yo, so I'm not trusting nothing he's saying.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just not rocking with it. Cause he's a contractor. They shady, and I'm gonna just say it like it is what it is. They shady, they be robbing. They can't wait to see out of towners in their city, bro.
Sheesh.
They getting us, bro. Cause the first thing they gonna ask you for is what? Yo, hey, Biz, I'm gonna renovate your house. It's gonna cost $25,000. Before you leave, what you gotta leave them to get started?
A deposit. Gone.
Boom.
Food out of there, right? So I was going through that for a while. Then I finally figured it out. I got a good team out there, and I started teaching people how to renovate properties out there because we don't have those opportunities in the Northeast, I'm gonna say.
Right.
So then that stuck with me though, because I was like, yo, he kind of makes sense. You ever had somebody that like you don't think is qualified to teach you something, but it do stick with you?
Yeah.
It's in your head. So I'm like, I ain't gonna listen to you, but I heard you.
Exactly.
So now that land bank connected me with the Alabama land bank, the Birmingham land bank, the chief operating officer. There, he was like, yo, you doing good work, because I would bring people up there, do like little seminars. I'd have the land bank come out and speak. It's like, I never seen anybody this unselfish as you. He was like, we're looking to grow in Birmingham. Like that land bank could get some traction. He's like, go there. The city's going to turn eventually, but there's starting to be money invested. So I went to Birmingham. I started buying a bunch of land, and because that's what was available to me. So I started buying land there.
In Birmingham,
Alabama.
Alabama, yeah. Okay.
Dope city. They got tons of money in the last 5 years, right? But everybody watching, just Google this. Birmingham, Alabama gets $7.7 billion. Like, just Google that right there, right?
Hold on, bring that back one more time for the people that wasn't listening.
People that's not listening, just Google this. Governor Kay Ivey, Birmingham, $7.7 billion.
We're talking about billions.
With the B.
Big B. Sheesh.
That's on a big scale. So here, I'm gonna break something else down to you real quick, just so we learn like markets and trends. And you'll know this, and you're gonna start to connect the dots on how like we do something similar, but just different lanes. So here's how I broke down Birmingham and how like it's crazy.
Noonan in the building.
I started studying trends, right? The cities. So back then, Detroit was like number 3 murder capital. They were getting cash infusion. Dan Gilbert was buying up everything in downtown Detroit. The middle looked like a bomb hit it, but downtown looked beautiful. Dan Gilbert was putting tons of money in there, right? So I started noticing, and this is what happens. The worst cities in America, they get to wave the flag to the federal government and say, hey, we need help. Like my city is dying. The mayors, the governors get to say, like, guys, we got a housing issue, low income housing, affordable. We need help. It doesn't make sense for developers to come in here and develop because the values are so low. So what happens is the federal government and HUD gives them money. So they have money now to partner with developers to build up their city. What that means is they're paying, and this been happening forever. They are paying developers to partner with them to build. Sometimes they'll give them
or for
land.
money that they're getting from.
Yes. So the governor is asking for help. They get the money. And Kay Ivey got $7.7 billion, right? Google it real quick, bro. Just Google K-A-Y. Just Google Alabama, $7.7 billion. We're going to just fact check right now.
$7 billion.
$7.7 billion. Alabama, Ivey, I-V-E-Y.
Yeah, Governor Ivey announced his growth projects, pumping $7.7 billion in new investment.
Talk about it.
Sheesh.
Talk about it. But look, chill. Watch how you're gonna see like we do parallels, right? Birmingham started getting money like that. And I started to see how the crime rate was bad, how they had issues with low income housing. Then I started to dig a little more, and there's something called Community Development Block Grants, CDBG. It's a thing that it's grants that they get from the federal government to help build their city. So doing my research and everything, I was like, all right, Birmingham getting too much money. Like they going crazy. Like it comes out every time they get grant money, they have to publicize it, right? So I started to notice like, all right, they getting workforce money, right, to bring jobs.
Exactly.
They're getting housing money to build houses.
Yep.
They're getting everything they need, the infrastructure to grow that city. And that's how cities grow. And that's how, like, when there's money to give out to help America, they start at the bottom where it's needed most. So I just went crazy in Birmingham, bro. I have right now over 300 parcels of land that I own in Birmingham.
That's crazy.
So while I'm there,
That's
I
crazy.
started to get into building, right? So I bought it. I went crazy because I kind of like had the in on it. So I went crazy. And I do have like a following of people that look like us that want to get into real estate because, right, once you crack the code, you start sharing with everybody.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much land to buy. There's so many houses that's vacant to buy that there's no need for me to just kind of hoard the information, right, or gatekeep it. So I started sharing, and that's how people really started to get to know me a little bit. Like, yo, that's the guy that be doing the houses or whatever. So, bro, I built my first house. How many days it took?
60.
I'm gonna say like 67, like 70, right?
Yeah, he's
I
humble.
say
He's humble.
60.
Charles is humble.
Yes, he is very.
He's humble.
Yo, when I did that, right?
And where's this at?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, so you got a
Here's the
crib
address.
out. You got a
2867 41st Court North, Birmingham, Alabama.
But that house was up in 60 days.
Yeah, but
That
we
house
had
was
some
up.
dusting up. Like we had a
That
little
house was
extra
up.
stuff.
But
how big? How many bedrooms is in this house?
Three bedroom, 2 bathroom. It's on. It's a little bit more than a half an acre. I paid $29.85 for the land itself, right? But here's the thing: when I started to learn what building was like and how building was, it's so much easier than renovating a house.
That's crazy to think about like that.
This is what people don't think about. They just don't show us this. Here's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
So you got an abandoned property or just a regular fix and flip that needs a new roof. They have to actually take the roof apart. They got to take off the shingles. They got to take off the plywood, the sheathing, and then put new stuff back.
I got my roof done.
You got your roof done, right? They had to take some
And
stuff
it
off.
costs a couple dollars too.
Oh, hell yeah. But
And it takes a couple of days, you know.
Yes.
A couple of weeks, you know.
But
It takes time.
they had to take it off and then put a new one on. When they're building a house, they only have to do that thing one time. You got your kitchen done. They had to take up the floors, bust the cabinets
That costs a
out.
couple of dollars too.
Yes, it costs a couple dollars.
Especially yours.
I see where you going with this. You like, yo, they making them. They making
Nah.
them.
I'm already.
Right?
You know, like you said, when you know you was getting beat up. I got beat up. I got a little jump, but no, just something small like that, like fixing the roof and doing the kitchen, like. And now, you know, with my partner Stan, and like,
Yeah.
because I'm more of a, like, I've always been like this my whole life. If I need something done, I'll just pay and I'll walk away and I'll just.
You don't
know,
gotta deal with so much.
You know, I just pay. But now I'm more like, wait, hold on.
You want to know.
Now I'm going to Home Depot every day.
How much is this?
I'm figuring it out. Like, so I understand like that somebody else will look at it and be like, you know, taking a house completely down and rebuilding it. It'll be like, nah, let me just renovate it. But now, like, the way that you're saying it kind of, depending on the situation, the structure, because you still got to take a roof down. You still got to take everything down and then place everything back. And it's, like I said, I did that project. I did a few things on my home.
Yeah.
So I know, like, it could get, and then you know what else too, the other part, once you start ripping things off, then you find other things.
Something else. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then
so
a couple years later, you're gonna have like another part that was connected to that part. That's like, well, you should have changed this.
Yeah.
You should have changed. And this, like, wait a second.
It's like getting a facelift or getting surgery. Like, once you start, it's like, okay, now, you know, like anytime you start ripping stuff apart and you fix one. That's why when you have a house, it's like it's
Never
ends.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sure, like, you making some killer improvements though, bro. I saw the floors. Hey, wait. What kind of floors are those again?
You know.
Look, he's scratching. He don't want to say it.
You're not going to say. Do you want
What
to
kind of floor? They white, by the way.
Porcelain.
Porcelain. All right. Tiptoeing
Everybody
on the
can't
mark.
You know, this is Long Money Island, Charles. You know what I mean?
I see.
We got a couple dollers out here.
I love
Public,
it.
yo, wherever public transportation don't go, you know it's like, all right, we could let loose out here. We could go crazy with it.
So Mel, how did you hook up with Charles? Like, because you was Miss Atlanta, Mississippi. Like,
How many pageants have you done?
that's crazy.
Maybe 6. You have to do preliminaries under the Miss America.
And how many people? There's a whole bunch of different
I mean, you know, when you do a state pageant, it's obviously much bigger.
How many?
Maybe
to be the one? How many?
It's 100. I don't know.
Oh my
Something
God.
like that. It's every year it's different, you know. And I've done Miss America system and Miss USA system, and those are 2 different, you know, systems. So anyway, I met him actually about 7 years ago.
Wow.
And, you know, we've been cool ever since. But as far
Getting
as
money, breaking bread.
this one, yes,
Nah.
listen,
Wow.
go. Listen, I'm,
So look,
yeah.
wilding out in essence.
Oh,
right?
Lord. Listen.
New York got a little corner at the Essence Festival.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I used to own an insurance agency, and we used to do the convention center. I had a booth like a couple years back, 7 years ago. I had a booth, a State Farm booth at Essence Festival. But I had my whole crew, and after work is over, right? We we turning up.
Yep.
So Mississippi got a crew, right? Yo, do you ever go to Essence Festival?
might have went to one or two. I can't, I don't
crazy.
know.
You gotta
Maybe.
come down
Biz, you gotta go.
You got
So
to.
look, so
Wait, where is it
everybody-
at?
In New Orleans.
No.
It's New Orleans. You know what? Nah, I never been. I
Yeah.
never been to one. I never been to
Okay, well,
one.
you gotta
Yeah.
go.
All right. When's the next one? I'm booking my flight right now.
Every July 4th weekend.
Yep.
All right. Say that. So lock me in.
So it's wild and crazy. It's not wild and crazy, but it's party time.
It's party time.
Turn up time, right? It's like out of New York, get away from work, wild out. It's black. It's excellence. It's the essence event, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So we just got our crews. We know they crew. New York. Everybody got a crew. Like
Yeah, we
every
linking
state
up.
represents out there. So we just been like watching each other just vibe and energy and everything forever. She actually got introduced to me by one of my homeboys. But she had a little attitude, So she does PR. Somebody owed her money, and
Yes.
she was like, "Look, this nigga owed me money. I'm sorry if I'm rude." So I thought she had a little attitude, right? So our crews locked in, we exchanged numbers, but I never really reached out. But I knew she did PR. So as the years went by, we just kept seeing each other.
What type of PR work do you do?
Well, actually, entertainment has always been like my background, So I do a lot of, connecting the dots.
Nice.
But recently, I kind of have stepped into the community relations part of it. And that's been new because, that's bringing me into the real estate side of things.
Copy.
And PR is huge. It's vast. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. I do PR work. As
Oh,
well.
yeah. And just talking to you earlier, I see, how you do that because it kind of has marketing with it as well.
Absolutely.
You can't have one.
And now it's so saturated with podcasts, with content, with people that just they buy podcast equipment and they just want to go viral, so they'll just say anything and do anything, and so I always tell people, because I'm Biscuit, marketing genius, biggest blogger in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The GOAT, all of these things.
That's
The
right.
blog father.
The blog, forgot about the blog father. I tell people all the time, it's like, all of that's cool, right? Because, you can literally buy a podcast. You could buy podcast equipment. You could set up a microphone. You could say one thing and go viral one time, but there's no longevity in that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a hit record or one hit wonder, whatever. Like you'll have a half of a summer or whatever when it's trendy, when it's popular, but you want to brick by brick. You want to my foundation. You gotta understand, my foundation is so strong. My building got knocked down. I lost 1 million followers, but I'm a builder. I was able to build it right back to 1 million. Right. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they have their moments and then they fall off. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's like a fix and flip. You'll make that quick money, or you'll make that amount of money, and then it's like once it's gone, it's gone. Now you gotta do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do a lot of PR work. I do a lot of campaigns. I work with a lot of agencies. I'm just happy to be here. You know what I mean? I'm happy to be here with my peoples. You know what I mean? I want to go to New Orleans. I want to do all these things. So please, Charles, don't leave Long Island. And
nah, bro, look.
Like I need. You know what I'm saying?
Here's
Mel,
where,
I need you to. You feel me?
Here's where like
it's a lot of opportunity in this room.
Here's where being good people helps. Right. So
and doing good business.
So our energy, she just always loved it. She like, yo, y'all a whole vibe. And then we like, nah, y'all a whole vibe. So as we started to get to know each other, she started to get wind of what I was doing on Instagram. She introduced me to the mayor, right? So she's
Mel plugged in like that.
She's huge in the South, bro. Like,
are you humble too, Mel? Okay,
because she's huge in the South. So even when we first just like hung out, she was like, hey, I gotta introduce you to the mayor of Jackson. I was like, what the hell's the mayor doing here? She's like, nah, he's super cool. Don't worry. Like, don't even think mayor, think cool dude.
Right.
But she was like, I'm gonna take you to our section and let me, introduce you there. Cause we in the New York section, right?
Right.
And I'm like, yo,
in New Orleans, but in the New York section. Yeah.
It's weird. It's a super dope vibe and culture where everything is love. But like if I see you in Essence, I'm like, Biz, where's that? Where you going tonight? You like, where you go? I'm like, all right, we gonna go here from 10 to 11, then from there 11 to 12, we gonna stop by yours,
outside,
right? And we it just is what it is. So she plugged me in with like the mayor or introduced me to the mayor of Jackson and introduced me to a bunch of like key people that
In the
was
city.
in Mississippi. Funny enough, I'm like, man, I'm really locked in on Birmingham because such and such. She's like, wait, ain't such and such the mayor? Can I say his name or no?
Yeah.
She's like, ain't Randall Woodfin the mayor? I'm like, how do you know him? I sent 8 emails trying to talk to him because I'm like, yo, I want to change your city with you. Like, I rock with your city. It's black. It's love. It's a city we could own. Like we can own the city. We could revamp the city. So she's like, I went to college with him.
Morehouse.
She's like, oh,
And I went
boom.
to Spelman.
Yeesh.
So, you know.
Smart. You
Spellhouse.
smart.
So she's texting this dude I've been trying to lock in with for like a month. And I'm like, all right, look, you gotta. So she's like, I gotta do more with you because of what you're doing. We need it in Jackson.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, well, help me with such and such. So she started doing community affairs, like, so those community development block grant organizations or parts of the city that they all have. She knows everybody in the South at all of them. So that's how we started working together recently.
And I just like authentic
Yeah.
connection.
Yes. Organic vibes only.
You know, that's why Essence is beautiful because it's just, you're not going there to meet somebody. Everybody's just pulling it and you end up, you know, you attract what you know, what you're thinking about, the vibes that you have. And that's just, it just seems like everybody was.
And Mel, where are you originally from?
Oh, Vicksburg, Mississippi. But I live in Jackson, Mississippi.
And you're plugged in New Orleans as well.
You know, New Orleans actually is probably where I would like to be plugged more. I do more partying there, and I know more people than I think, I'm sure.
How do you feel about the Super Bowl?
Oh, you know I'm all over that.
Okay.
I'm so excited about
And you good with
that.
Kendrick performing and not Lil Wayne?
Okay, so I will say, I was shocked. I was surprised because everybody, I mean, you know, we just know Wayne, the whole. all
Cash
them,
Money.
Cash Money's going to be there. So I don't have a problem with Kendrick, but I did think that it was important for them to have Wayne a part of it. That's just me. I don't know how y'all think, but
Everybody
it just seemed
feel-
like it
Yeah.
made
I think-
sense to me.
Up north, we feel that way too because that was an era. That was a moment for us where, like, rap, music was changing, but we was liking it, right? Like
100%,
we vibe with them because the way that they was
I always was telling people like, yo, man, once like the South like took over the rap game from Little John to the East Side Boys, the Crunk era, Luda, T.I., then you got Jeezy. I'm a super New York.
Yeah.
Nas, Jay-Z, Biggie, you know, Wu-Tang, you know, Mobb Deep, and I was always like, man, the South took this shit and they ain't never gave it back.
Is
you
that
know
how
what I mean?
you felt? Like y'all really felt
Yeah,
that
because
way?
then that's what I'm saying. It was just
I feel like it wasn't coming back.
the South. The South. Not only did the South like step in and really start killing, and like again, we was liking it too. We was, you know, not everything, but a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, man, Jeezy, man, like that's when I really was like, oh nah.
It was
That was like what, 05?
I think so. Yeah.
It was relatable to us because they was flashy, they was popping, and we.
Oh,
Didn't
speaking
know.
of Jeezy, I think Big Meech is at the halfway house. I think they just let him out. Yep, I just posted that earlier.
See,
Yep.
that's-
Big
I'm
Meech.
old
I
Atlanta.
think I'm Big Meech.
That's my era right there.
Oh,
That
word?
I used to be in that. My cousin was Juice, who is, well, she's considered the first lady of BMF.
Oh.
And she's passed now. But
Oh, okay. My
that
condolences.
was when, that's okay. She really was just like a light. But
Mm-hmm.
when I got to Atlanta, that was what I fell right into.
Mm.
So that era, like, I don't care when people talk about Atlanta. I'm old Atlanta. I can tell you about. I got
Mm-hmm.
stories for days.
So you was outside, is what you said?
Yeah, I was outside.
Give us one. give us one. Give us
Hold
one
on,
story.
hold
Give
on,
us
Ben.
one
You
story.
was
Okay.
all the way outside back then.
Well, I mean, it depends on how outside you're talking. Cause see now, one thing about them,
See, she got a little. She's
was-
modest, so we gotta
Yeah,
dig a
yeah,
little.
yeah.
How outside was you?
I was outside. I mean, you know, in terms of like everybody in Atlanta was a celebrity, but it was like nobody cared because everybody was together. You know, when BMF would come in the club, you know, we call them the 3-letter boys.
It's like Magic City.
Oh, Magic City, yes, indeed.
You was walking in with him.
I was, yeah.
Oh,
Like, well, I was
okay.
young, and Juice was not for that. She was like, "Look, now you can't just hang out all the time, but I'll let you sometimes." But and I was young. I was in college, and so we would hang out sometimes, but not all the time. like I
Right,
said.
got you.
But Magic City Mondays, Justin's on a Monday too. It's like
You know what's ill too? Like for me, just anytime I've been in Atlanta, especially like back in the day, to hear the Jeezy and the T.I.s and that music, and when you in Magic City, it just hit different, man. I'm not gonna lie.
it's different.
You know what I'm saying?
Was you
Like,
going or no? Was you going back and forth?
Yeah,
down there?
yeah. I used to go to Atlanta here and there. You know what I mean? Here and there, not too much, but like the old
You remember
Atlanta.
old Atlanta.
Yeah.
Nobody, new Atlanta can never compare. And nobody, unless you were there, there is no way that you can really even talk about
Where was you
it.
at, Charles?
Different.
I was uptown, bro. I was in New York, wearing the New York flag heavy. Tim's like you got on
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
bro. I
yeah.
wasn't jacking, really moving out of like you know what I'm saying. I wasn't with the wave like that. Like, oh, let me dip here and dip there. But yeah, I was outside uptown. I was outside of the Bronx.
I used to sell mixtapes. I was a part of like the biggest mixtape crew, Tape Masters Inc. And we started like one of the first mixtape websites. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a part of Trapaholics, all of that stuff. So digital trap star, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of those things I was always a part of. Yeah, so I've in back in those days, CDs. So I used to have to go the DVD era. I used to have to go link up with French and them to get the Cocaine Cities, link up with Fendi to get the Come Up DVDs and moving around with these things. So when they ran in DJ Drama's office, his studio, they saw all the cars out there and they confiscated all of his mixtapes. And literally 2 weeks after they ran in his office, I had an office in Queens with my partners, Tape Masters Inc.
Don't tell me.
And they ran in my and I forgot what phone was out back then, man.
Tell me.
Yeah, and it was crazy because, bro, at that point, bro, we done had mixtapes hosted by Beyonce,
Oh my God.
Tape Masters Inc., Beyonce, Future R&B. Like we was doing off of a mixtape. We was doing like 10,000, 20,000 units out, in the streets, right? We was killing it. And then we had the mixgame.com, which you could buy we had bundle packages, so you could buy like 5 CDs for like $20 or whatever. And we was and we was getting CDs for like once you burn the CD, you put the cover in, you put the plastic, the CDs were costing like $1 to $2, and we was selling them for like $5 and $10. You know what I'm saying? And we was moving
easily buying. Yo, if you going anywhere on a trip, if you going from New York to New Jersey, you're stopping to get a mixtape.
Oh, absolutely.
You
They wasn't outside back then, Charles. They don't.
Oh my.
You know what I mean?
No,
But listen,
so living in New York, I would go to. I went to school in New Jersey, right, in Caldwell, New Jersey, right. Yo, I would have to buy so many CDs. Like if I went home for the weekend,
Just for the trip.
just for everybody that was in school, because really New York had them everywhere.
yeah.
And people that didn't leave school that weekend, yo, they was starving for the CDs, bro.
This is
it was
college.
a thing. Yeah. No, it was a big thing. And
Yeah,
big,
I used to
huge.
Then one time it was what they call it, South Carolina. What do they have? Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach.
What is it? Bike
Like
week?
yeah,
Bike week.
Bike week.
Beach week.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach. So I went out there and I brought my CDs. You know what I'm saying? So I had a bunch of different mixes. Like the Hot 97.
Yeah.
I had this other mixtape called Tapes Top 20. So I always knew to have different, have the reggae CDs,
Okay.
because you never know who wants what, right? So, people that I was selling to in the streets, they kept saying, yo, you ain't got that Jeezy? And I'm over here like, Young Jeezy, what's that? Like, I really was out the loop.
Yeah.
So, the internet kind of just was coming together, like, as far as, like, we know back then. So, once I got home, I had to make that Jeezy mixtape.
I know
it up
you
crazy.
did.
I was like, nah, because they was literally, that's how I knew, like, this was like, boom, boom. Like, the joint that he did with Manny, it wasn't out yet. It was like just the Trap or Die and all of that. So,
You
yeah,
know
man.
what? I remember this is when I was Miss Atlanta. I had to host a
Miss
fashion-
Atlanta. She say that like,
Yeah.
Miss Atlanta. Wow, that's crazy.
But this was so funny.
That's
to
probably
me.
bigger than Miss Georgia, right?
It actually was. It was.
Because Atlanta, like you want Atlanta. It's like you, like you want the city, right? You want like what's popping.
It's
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
You got a lot of trophies in the crib, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of yeah.
Crowns and stuff.
Fire.
But
Crowds and stuff.
I had hosted the show, and y'all.
I'm happy to have you on my podcast. Keep it a stack with Biz.
But the guy who performed at the fashion show, he was a tall guy, dark skin, had some little dreads or some braids at the time, I don't know. Anyway, and his girlfriend came up. She was like, my boyfriend is performing. I was like, who your boyfriend? She was like, Titty Boy. I said, who is Titty Boy?
Titty Boy.
Do y'all know who Titty Boy was?
2 Chainz.
Yeah, 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It took me, when I realized that it was 2 Chainz, years later, I was dying laughing.
Man,
because
Atlanta.
I'll never forget. Everybody was like, Titty
Crazy,
Boy, Titty
funny.
Boy, Titty Boy, Titty Boy. And I was like,
Yeah.
So
Titty Boy.
you've been hosting since when? Like what age were you when somebody said, "Oh, Melanie Sanders, could you host this?"
Oh, I was real young, like, teenager.
And what'd you
Big deal.
feel like? Did you
I
you feel like you were different, like a different level pretty, or did you feel like, I wonder why they keep asking me to host?
I didn't think it was anything looks based. I just thought they just liked, because I like to talk. I just like to talk.
Mel, you need your own podcast. I'm not gonna lie. You really do. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to be my guest.
Yeah. The first episode, I'm in the building.
Boom. You come.
Locked in.
Yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah.
Okay. I'm going to talk about that.
So Charles, man, brick by brick. So for a person that's interested in the real estate game, that's looking past just the fix and flip aspect of it, which, like you said, in our culture, a lot of people like kind of like lean towards that way because they feel like, let me just buy a crib, let me fix it, let me make $1. So what would be like the first step into even creating that, like having that mindset to say, you know what, I'm gonna build a house from the ground up? How do you even like where do you start? Because there's so much information out there.
Yeah.
But it's like I was saying before off camera, like, how do you know who is legit? So many scammers, so many people that say, yo, you want to make $100,000, just
Do that.
sign up to, whatever it is.
Yes.
That's a
Like,
good
how do you know who's a trusted source? Like, obviously, if you know, you know what I mean?
Well, you watch them do it. So the good thing about social media is I feel like, and I got to social media late, right? I'm only been on social media like 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years. I feel like we're in the information era.
Exactly.
Right now. I feel like
100%.
now information is being shared like crazy.
Yeah, it's overload. It's overkill.
But in like the opposite of that is when we was growing up, we ain't have nobody to teach us anything.
That too.
Right? You like brick by brick because you had to build your shit literally brick by brick. Nobody said, yo, Biz, I got half a studio and we could press CDs and you could just do your thing, right? You had to figure all that stuff out. So I'm happy that we got like the internet today. Social media, I think, is like the gift and the curse.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on my platform, right, I show people, I go so hard to make people believe that they could build a house too. So a lot of my content be, let me just show y'all. I'll be showing and teaching, showing my house. I did blue doors for Birmingham, Alabama, but I let like social media and my following pick what color door we're gonna do for Birmingham.
That's
and when I
fine.
said this to the mayor, what did he say?
He was like, oh my gosh, I loved it.
He was like, yo, that's
Because they're
gang.
part of the project.
Yeah.
And that's a great point about social media. And another like tool that I tell, I work with a lot of artists, a lot of managers, a lot of producers. And I'm like, listen, you have to engage with your followers. You have to like let them hear a song, then let them hear another song and say, hey, which one do you guys want me to put out? Or which one should I shoot a video for? And then once that song or that video comes out, you're going to have your followers like, yo, I'm glad you listened to me.
They claiming it like it's their song. Like
They're
ooh,
a part
like
of, they
feel
want to
like-
be a part, everybody want to be a part of something. So it's very important, when it comes down to your brand, your business,
Yeah.
and, to let the people be involved in it.
So I would say definitely. So I can tell the process now in like a little 5 minutes, just free education, right? But before you pick somebody whose journey you're going to follow or whose path you're going to follow, you get the luxury of watching first, right? Don't just jump. Like, so I'm going to say, I'll teach the process now. So everybody watching your show will have it, right? Everybody from here, what I'll say in the next 10 minutes will know how to build a house, right? If you want help, if you want somebody, if you're one of those people where you want somebody to hold your hand to do it, or a little bit more support,
which is a lot of people out there want.
You can lock in with somebody. But here's the process, and it's fairly simple. So you have to know, you got to be able to buy land. And I'll give a quick acronym. You mind if I teach a little bit on that?
No, go ahead. No, we listening to you, Charles. Go ahead.
All right, cool. No, because real estate, I'm gonna keep it 100, man. It's not sexy. It ain't like this shit ain't sexy. The money's fly. You could get fly, right? If you a lit dude through real estate, you gonna be a lit dude. It ain't nothing that's like gonna make you, right? It's
yeah. You are who you are.
It's information, right? But so I'm gonna share it. To buy land, I created an acronym called Africa, right? And I'll just bust that down real quick. In each county, there's a minimum size lot that you have to build. So we call that the area. So the A is for area. In Birmingham, you need 0.1 of an acre. An acre is 43,560 square feet. So in Birmingham, you need like 0.12 to build. So you verify whatever piece of land you're looking at that is big enough for your particular county which you want to build. Long Island might be different. It's going to be different, right? And it all goes by like how much space they want you to have between the houses.
Got you.
So in Philly, they got row houses, right? So that number's real different. It's real small. And Long Island is probably much bigger because they don't want houses on top of each other.
Yep.
Right? So you go area first, you verify the area. The F is for the fundamentals of a sewer system. You want to make sure that you got access to sewer, to city sewer. So the reason I put that in there, because I bought a house that I thought we could it had water. It had water, but it didn't have city sewer. In the South, they got some of them still on septic tank. Yeah. Right? So now I'm teaching.
I got cesspool and it's annoying.
So, but I ain't gonna let a new developer make that mistake. So now if you looking up land and watching your show, you're gonna know, all right, so you verify the size, then you verify that it got city water and sewer. It's not bad if it doesn't, but you just wanna know.
No, yeah, exactly. Right? You wanna know what's going on.
Because now you gotta do a septic tank, which is 15 grand.
Yep.
But it's not that bad because you don't pay sewer. So in most parts, they pay water and sewer. If you got a septic, you don't have to pay sewer. So now you renting it out. You like, look, rent my place over that place because you only got to pay water. You don't got to pay sewer. So it has its pros and cons, but for the education of our people, I want to know everything. Just like you're going to take this acronym and be like, yo, I know how to buy land, right? Oh, yeah. So you got Africa, you got the A is for area, the F is for the fundamentals of the sewer system. And how you could verify that is you could look on the street, like you Google Street View, you look for the manhole, right? The pothole, the manhole that we all hate when we hit it on our rims, right? Oh, yeah. But you look for that because that's saying that has city sewer. The drains on the side are water drainage, but for the most part, where they have most of those, you'll see a manhole. So now you're a little bit safer in there. AFR, the R is for road frontage. You want to make sure that your land is not landlocked. It's not like surrounded by other people's land. So you want to make sure that it has access to the road. Yeah. Right? So you verify that because we could make the mistake just getting happy and just that we know how to buy. We just buy and it's in your backyard, right? So you want to verify road frontage. The I is we want to make sure that we're buying infill lots. Infill means that we're buying in places that are developed. So we want to make sure that houses around it so we don't have to worry about a water line like 4 blocks away. And then we got to actually dig up that street or
all the way to it.
Or you got to do a well, right? So these are some of the things that are going to protect you. The I. The C is for comps. You want to verify like if you're going to sell it, you want to look up. So if you're going to buy land to sell or buy land to build and sell, you want to run the comps. You want to hit Zillow, and let's just say you bought a 1/4 acre. You want to know before you buy that land, how much is the lowest 1/4 acre, which would be 0.25. How much is the lowest 1/4 acre selling for on Zillow?
Wow.
And if that's like, let's just say that's like $8, $9, $10,000, and you can buy it for 2, you know that's a good buy because you could sell it for 6, triple your money, and you out of there.
Right.
Right. So you want to verify the comps. If you're building, you now want to look up what part of I don't even want
Suffolk County.
Suffolk County. So now you want to look up new construction sold in Suffolk County. You could do this by Zillow. It has sold.
Hold on, Charles. Hold on, Charles. Hold on.
I know the
Go to
real
Zillow.
life.
Go to Trulia or Zillow.
I hear you talk about this all the time, but every time it makes me.
Okay, where we at? All right, I'm on Zillow.
Suffolk County.
Hold on.
Just look up houses for sale or sold. If you could look up sold, Suffolk County,
Hold on.
and then it's going to
Houses
tell you the prices.
sold. Suffolk County.
Yep.
We're going to get this right. Suffolk County and then Zillow, right?
Yep.
Recently sold homes in Suffolk County, New York.
What you see? Open it. Okay. So we got 610, right? Sold 1016. We got 610.
That's the other. That's.
We got 520. We got 800,000 sold 1016. Damn, a lot sold on 1016. 700,000. But you would go a little step further, right? And you would look up new. You would look up like let's go. You would look up new construction. So it's somewhere on here, but you get you get an idea of that number, right? Somewhere between 600,000 and let's just say 8, right? So now, so we're at running the comps. Let's just take on the lowest end 600,000, right? So now we just did some comps. Obviously, we did 2-second comps, but we just did comps. You know, Suffolk County, you between 6 and 800,000. That sold.
And
today, that looked like today or yesterday, right?
Yeah, the 16th. Yep, today.
Right?
Today.
So let's just say this month, right? So that's your comps. The last thing you want to look for is A, which is in Africa is A, which is accessibility to power lines. You want to now make sure that when you do that Google Street View, you're seeing land near other houses and you want to verify in that Street View that there's light poles and wires running back and forth to the houses. Because now you don't have to really pay any money to get let's say Con Edison out to run wire from 5 blocks.
Which
away
who knows
all the
how
way
much
to-
that'll cost.
Who knows how much, and who knows when they're gonna do it. But if it's in between houses with the lines, you just calling Con Ed, hey, connect me, right? So that's how you look up land. To go further, right, if you want to do this in Suffolk County, this is what you're going to do. You're going to get an architect to give you plans on a house that you want to build, right? So you consult with an architect on what you want to build. You can take a picture, send it to them, hey, how much to build this? I'm going to go a little bit deeper and really share some game.
Let's go.
You can call the county for a house that you like and get a copy of their plans. So your neighbor, let's just say your neighbor house is stupid, right? And you like, yo,
Which it is.
I know. I didn't want to say it. I know, right? You can call the county and get a copy of their plans. You give those plans to your architect and say, hey, just do this on this piece of land. They'll give you your plans. You take those plans. So you would take them to a builder and say, this is what I want to build, right? But here's the dope thing. So we looking at 650,000 or 600,000 we spent, right? Let's say you spent $100,000 for the land. Let's say, I don't know how much land is, but let's say you spent $1 on the land, right?
Keep it simple.
That house that's 3,000 square feet for the materials at just simply Home Depot, because Home Depot will price match any other company that's out there. You can get it's called a takeoff, right? That's just really called an estimate. So you get a takeoff with Home Depot. You take those plans to Home Depot. You get a takeoff. Take like a week, maybe 2 weeks. You give those to your builder, right? That takeoff for, let's say, a 3,000 square foot house, which is huge, right? Not huge, but it's big.
How big?
Let's say 3,000 square feet.
3,000.
Let's say 3,000. the materials for that house might be like $250,000. The labor to build it might be another $100,000. So we got 100, and then 250. That's 450. All in to build the house, and it's gonna sell for what you see there, 600 to 800,000, whatever it is that you see on there. So you ran the comps already on a 3,000 square foot house. You know how much it costs to build, and you just hire your builder to build it, and you could sell it and make $150,000.
Yup. Man.
It's that simple.
He really is. That was a gem because I had never heard you say that about the
I don't be giving like
He
it.
did.
So
He
out of New
definitely
York, I don't
did.
go crazy like that out of New York. It gotta be
You
a
know
New
what
York
I'm
person. It gotta
You
be a
heard?
New York person for
Let's
me to go
go.
in like that.
Listen, I appreciate you, Charles. You hear me?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, cause like I said, I'm in it to win it, man. You know what I mean? I'm ready to, especially we keep telling people only like 2 months left of this year, man. Go hard or go home, cause who knows who about to be in office, who knows what's gonna go down. But listen, stack your bread and get ahead. You heard?
Yes.
I'm happy we talking about this stuff now, and I'm happy that platforms like yours are embracing this stuff because the more we get it out there that we can build, and that like it's not super hard to do, right?
Yeah.
The more we get that out there, the more we're gonna start owning, and the more we get into the development game.
Yep.
We know the word developer. We don't know what the hell a developer do. They all the way up there. They do what they do. We don't even ask what is a developer because we just not trained, right? Our way out is the fix and flip, which has failed so many times. So I appreciate you having us on here, man.
No doubt, man. Thanks for coming, especially, bringing Mel through. I knew you was coming, Charles. I didn't know you was going to bring Miss America, you know what I mean?
Yo, hey, look. Shout out to Heineken and Esso.
Oh,
bro.
definitely. Those are my bros.
She came for Esso's party.
Bag fuel, no doubt. I might have to, hold on. Yes.
You might have to come through. Look.
Ask Esso if I could get in with my Timbs, man.
No,
If I get my Timbs,
we got extra room at the section.
Fire.
We got
Damn.
a champagne sponsorship package.
Lit.
I don't know if you drink or
What you
not.
think
Champagne for the pain.
Champagne for the pain. Hey,
It's gonna
look,
be fun.
yeah, it's gonna be
It's gonna
fun.
be fun.
Well, listen, man. Keep it a stack with Biz. Make some noise once again for Charles and Mel for pulling up.
Appreciate
if you want to
it.
drop your socials, so I know people gonna want to follow you, Mel. I already know.
Okay.
I already know. Once I post it, they go, yo, what's that? Yo, Biz, yo, what's that ad though? Like, yeah.
Go ahead, Mel.
It's Melanie N. Sanders, MELANIE N. Sanders.
That's the government. Give your
That's
Instagram.
not- that's
let them know how to
Instagram.
find you. It got an N in it.
It has an N. Yes.
Oh,
People think it's Melanie. No, it's Melanie N.
Get it right.
Sanders.
look, I ain't even know.
You didn't
Get it
She's
right.
so humble, bro. You don't even think like you got to get all of her stuff.
Get it
Absolutely
right.
Right. She's in the room. I thought she's giving you her government name.
Well, look,
bro.
there's plenty of space in Social Media House. Y'all could always come here, and you see we got a lot of things going on. So feel free. Anytime you're in town, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Thank
you're good.
you.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it
Mi
is
casa,
so
su
nice
casa.
to hear.
We'll definitely be back,
Thank
man.
you.
And I love the space you got too.
It's so nice.
It breeds creativity.
Creativity. That's
It
the best
breeds
thing
it.
to do.
Yep.
Yes.
And you guys can find me, Charles J. Noonan, on Instagram and Brick by Brick.
Love it.
Noonan the podcast.
Let's get it, man. Shout out to Biz, Matthew Mark.
Hey, what's up? It's Charles Noonan. I wanted to thank you guys for watching my episode on Keep It a Stack. I also want to personally invite you to my conference. I'm doing 500 people in one stadium, February 21st to February 22nd at the Regent Stadium in Birmingham, Alabama. We calling it the Birmingham Takeover. I'm going to have for the first time in the room with all of you guys, my lenders, my lawyer, my realtor, my architect, everybody you're going to need. The trust attorney is going to be there. I'm going to teach you guys how to pick, purchase, profit, and protect your first investment property the same way I did it. I paid $169,000 for mine, and I'm selling it for $249,000. We on Keep It a Stack. I appreciate you guys. Let's go to letsbuildbirmingham.com. Grab your ticket, and I'll see you there. Thank you.